Hi, I'm Tanic Sims 2, but you can call me Tanny, and welcome to the fourth installment of the Corruption Chronicles. This is another experiment I wanted to do that I haven't seen anyone else really cover, at least not on YouTube, but if I am wrong about that, please let me know and I will give proper credit. Anyway, basically, whilst recording the footage for the second part of How Corrupt is Strangetown anyway, I needed to restart the town. I needed it back to its default state, mostly because Bella moved herself to the townie household once the hood was initialized, and I needed to show how she starts in the default household. Anyway, as I was placing the Virgin Untouched backup folder into my game, into my Neighbourhoods folder, I remembered that merging or replacing files, overwriting files, the folders, the Neighbourhood folder, is a VBT, a very bad thing, and causes corruption. So naturally I thought, what if I did just that for a video? So say you've done everything right, you've practiced good hygiene, and for some reason you need to revert to an earlier backup, an earlier version of your Neighbourhood. For example, I've had to do this when I downloaded a dorm, and I placed it in my uni hood for Pleasantview, and I went in to add light switches and plug sockets because I'm a stickler for realism, apparently, and I noticed it started in autumn, in fall, which was weird because my default beginning season for the hood is summer. And then when I went in, I saw the doors had been claimed, they had dormies pictures on them, and there were these like bowls of mac and cheese with, you know, flies. I think they were empty and dirty, and I was like, oh this lot has been play tested and previously occupied, and the sim references haven't been cleaned out. It didn't come occupied, but generally when you package lots and then upload them, especially residential lots, you should actually upload a copy of the lot, so literally no traces of sim references, sim data remains, since this could lead to hood corruption. Anyway, point is, I had to go back to my backup before I had placed the lockdown. I didn't lose any gameplay, luckily. So say that happens to you or something. So what I recommend is you maybe rename the Neighbourhood folder, just add something to the name just in case. For me, usually I'll add the date, and today's date is the 29th, so just add the date. Okay, so then you'd move it maybe somewhere else. I now put my backups on my external hard drive, but for the sake of this video I'm going to move it to my old backup place, Sims 2 Backups teleporter, and you move it, completely remove it from the Neighbourhoods folder. Of course, on the day when I want to record, it decides to be really slow. Okay. And then you would move, so this is the untouched, this is when I added Canute to the household, and I had to save because I had to tamper with him in Sim PE. I'm not actually sure what I did here. This might be when I had to move the singles household in for them to have babies. So say I want to put the untouched as it comes game folder back in. This is my cursed game folder. Move it to Neighbourhoods. And rename it. I haven't been able to find a concise explanation of what merging the folders does, or why it leads to corruption exactly. So this is based mostly on my own understanding of how corruption works. Basically all the information about your hood is stored in this folder under my documents as package files. So, you know, individual sim data is stored in their package files in the characters folder. Lots are in the lots folder, for example. And so by overwriting these files, the game will just get completely confused. And to be honest, a lot of hood corruption can be summed up with that explanation. It's your game getting confused, it's getting wrong data, it's pointing to wrong data or data that's invalid and doesn't exist. Matilda uses really awesome analogy. She says, you want to find Jim. A friend tells you to go to 36 Main Street where you'll find Sally behind the bar. Sally will tell you where to go to find Jim. Unfortunately, your friend gave you the wrong address. Sally and Jim work at 35 Main Street. You go to 36 Main Street and don't bother to ask the woman behind the bar what her name is. Instead, you say, I understand that you have a message for me. And she says, yes, the aliens have landed. Nothing makes sense because you're at the wrong place. Unfortunately, you didn't do any error checking to find out whether you were talking with Sally and whether the message was about Jim. Before you know it, you're in Paris and Jim is still in the back room of 35 Main Street. Makes not that much sense, right? That's the point of corruption. It's your game getting confused, it's getting the wrong message. And she says, corruption spreads because wrong data is used to make decisions, leading to more and more bad data and more bad decisions. So I really like that analogy. It sort of sums up why the game would get really confused here. This hurts my soul to do, but I thought what I would do was merge the original unopened copy of Strangetown with this other file I have. This one, which most notably has Knut Futa resurrected and in the Spectre household, as I said. Not to mention, since I have empty stealth hoods installed in my program files, even with this new game folder separate from my main one, it shares those same files. So Sims like the Garden Club townies, for example, have to generate each time. So what I'm wondering is if, I don't know if I'm making sense, but say a new Garden Club member spawned in one of the folders I'm going to merge, and in the other one a different one spawned, and they would most likely have the same ID number, right? So it will literally be like merging these two Sims together, Frankenstein style, right? I don't know, but it might not work like that since I'm merging it with an untouched version where Garden Club townies haven't spawned yet. So if they do spawn again, they'll just take the next number anyway, not the point. I'm just throwing ideas and hypotheses around because honestly I'm not entirely sure what to expect. The worst that could happen is that the hood will just disappear from the game or crash upon loading or not open at all. Actually, the worst that could happen would be that nothing immediate happens, which would make for a pretty boring video and not really be very conclusive. Ideally, I would like the effects to be immediate and show a load of weird glitches straight away, but of course the tricky thing about corruption is that it's totally unpredictable, right? I also don't know if the fact that both hoods are barely played will make a difference, but I'm confident it's a bad idea either way. Okay, I'm babbling because I'm nervous. Like, I'm 99% sure this won't affect my core game files, the program files. It should just be, quarantined in this folder and not leak into my main game. But honestly, after some of the horror stories I've read, you just can't be too careful. And so it goes without saying that you should not try this at all. And it's also, I guess, advice on how to properly revert to backups without unintentionally corrupting your hood pretty badly. So what I'm gonna do is rename it to the Neighbourhood folder. Oh my gosh, I don't like it. My heart is like close to exploding. I don't know why I'm so nervous, but I'm gonna. Okay, see? Clicking this replace the files in the destination, you are gonna corrupt the folder. You've overwritten files, which is not good. I did it. There's no turning back now. Oh my gosh, now I have to load the game and see if anything's happened. My cat is just staring at me. It's like she knows what I'm doing is. You know when it feels like your heart is lodged in your throat? I feel like that. I'm not even being dramatic. My hands are like sweat city. I know that's so gross, but I'm so clammy. Yeah, don't do this at home. I'd say I'm a trained professional. I'm an expert, but I'm proving I am not. The relaxing chill music does not calm me either. Oh my gosh. Moment of truth. That looks normal. I just can't think what will happen. Maybe I'm hyping it up too much. Like, nothing will happen. Maybe I'm not saying you should do this. Don't. I don't think I'll get anything on camera. That's the thing. Or it loaded. I mean, that's more than I was expecting, so I'm not saying it's a good sign. I'm just wondering what I think the Spectre household will be the most effective. I mean, Canute's not there, but actually it's really weird he didn't actually show in the first video or whatever. He didn't actually show up, even though he was on the lot. That happened before as well. Oh, I just realized, this is interesting, by the way, if you can call this interesting. But the Virgin untouched default backup folder that I put in, that's before it's been opened. So the stealth hoods, you know, like exotic destinations, magic, hobbies, things like that, they hadn't been generated yet with the Virgin one. But obviously with the one with Canute that I've merged in, it has. So that's something. Does that make sense? Do you guys understand what I mean? It didn't generate the stealth hood, so they're there. It's loaded. Oh, I can't even think what might happen. It's pretty normal. I mean, the time is right. Have they gotten younger? I mean, this is all correct. Honestly, the only oddity here is Canute. That's got nothing to do with the folders being merged. I have an idea. Wait. So, since merging two game files didn't, you know, prove anything immediately, or, you know, maybe stuff was going on behind the scenes, which I could probably, I guess I can check Hood Checker or SimPE, see if anything funky is going on there. But since I have other backups for Strangetown, what if I add them as well to this, I don't know, mountain of mess. Replace. So yeah, the stealth hoods are here. That's magic. Maybe hobbies for that one, and then these are I'm not really sure. Pets, and then exotic destinations, I think, and then this being weather. Is that always the thumbnail? Because that's River Blossom Hills, but anyway. I guess we'll find out if that's done anything. Hey, guess who forgot to press start recording? Me. Basically all that happened was it's reverted the Spectre family to the original state that they come in. So Canute isn't there anymore, even though that folder was merged in. What I believe is happening is the other folder, the third folder I merged in, is very similar to the Virgin folder, because I had already moved the original copy into the game on that day to record, so obviously I didn't have the game with Canute in the household anymore. Does that make sense? Also, what happened was, in the Neighbourhood view, the Singles family were in the family bin still, and that was interesting to me because I'm pretty sure for this folder they should actually be in a lot that I put them in for the breeding footage for the second part of How Corrupt is Strangetown Anyway video, and that was interesting to me because when you make a change to a neighborhood, you add, I don't know, trees, you move a household in, you create a household, you move families out, you put lots down, bulldoze lots, it automatically writes to the folder, it saves. There's no way to exit without saving when you make a neighborhood change. So for example, putting the Singles household into a lot, that would save regardless of whether I play them or not, and play them and leave without saving, which is what I did. But because I moved them in and it changed the neighborhood, they should still be in that lot, but they're not. Does that make sense? So that was really the only immediate thing that jumped out at me. Everything else, it's normal. Which is why I'm thinking probably a lot more behind the scenes stuff is happening that isn't immediate in gameplay. I think I'm gonna try Pleasantview now, see if that makes any difference, because I've played and saved 2 households there. I don't know. Okay, so it turns out I actually have 3 backups for Pleasantview. Obviously the original as it comes. Cursed College, I think, is when I got footage for Bella reappearing. So, you know, if you play the unclean, the original hood, even though Bella has a death token, if by the time Alexander goes to college and Mortimer is deceased, which he probably will be at that point, she will appear in the cutscene. I had to get footage for that, and I had to obviously save. And that could be interesting because obviously I had to add Sim State University into the mix for that one. Cursed Bella, I think that's when I brought her back with the Tombstone of Life and Death without relinking her properly, without removing the dead token, without going through Sim PE, where I just spawned her with the Tombstone of Life and Death. And then I had to obviously save, reload the lot, and go back in and show how she will disappear because of her dead token. So I figured I have nothing to lose at this point. I'm going to move all 3 of these, merge them with the current game, which is also a shout. I should probably yeah, I should probably actually first copy what I have already, back that up, because I do need to record a follow-up video. I need to record a part 2 for the DNA experiment. I did try the other day, it didn't, I wasn't feeling too good, not the point anyway. But it is, you know, on my list, it's on the agenda. So let me go and do that really quick.
Many unbearable hours later.
Someone has decided to mow their lawn. It's a very beautiful spring day outside. It's very sunny. So sorry about that. Sorry if you can hear that. It's kind of out of my control, unfortunately.
3 hours later.
I'm gonna merge all of these with the Neighbourhood 1 folder. Replace them. Just do it. Replace. Let's do it. Let's put the original one in. Why not? Come and join the corruption party. Just imagine these are not going to be in a good state. I guess the good news is it's still showing up. And it still has the university. So I wonder if Alex will be at uni then. But also, I don't know what's going to happen to his character file. It'll probably be something like a dumpster fire. Problem is, I don't think I can show that. I don't think it will really show in game. At least not obviously, I don't know. Isn't that hot tub stolen? I'm like super sure the Caliente house thought they had their hot tub stolen in the DNA video because of the scripted event. Okay, so it's just Nina and Dina. There's no... Can't believe the day I'm like, I'm gonna record, I'm so hyped. Someone's like, time to mow my lawn. So it's just Nina and Dina. There's no children, there's no remote, there's no TV, there's no baby girl bachelor who fell from the sky. The Dreamer household as well. No Darlene, no Michael, no destitute Dreamer, no deleted email Dreamer, no new email, no new email Dreamer. So they're gone. The other household that would have been changed is the goth. So that's interesting. Alex is a child that uni's there. But then also there's the problem of thumbnails. They don't always, the family thumbnails don't always update that quickly or automatically. So that's another factor to keep in mind. Let's just see. I just imagine the game is just confused at the moment. More than anything, you know. I wasn't really expecting it to immediately blow up, because that's not what corruption does. It can take months, it could take days, it could take years. It's just so unpredictable. No one can say for sure how long it would take, which is obviously the tricky thing about it. Probably the part that's so dangerous, in my opinion. I don't know what will happen here. I don't know what sort of folder would take precedence, you know? Which folder will be the most dominant in the merge? Like, will it be the original, or will it be the one with college? I mean, for one, Mortimer's there, he's still alive. I had to kill him off for the college footage. I think this will produce something more obvious. Yeah, so it's reverted back to the original, despite the fact that what I did was merge folders where Bella was brought back, or where Alex was aged up into a teenager and moved to college, which, you know, the college hood is still there, but it's not quite at the beginning because the message hasn't popped up. It hasn't told me that they want to get married. So that's something. Bella is alive. Michael is grayed out, so he's dead. That folder hasn't really... I don't know, it's like the game is just reading bits and pieces, I think. So definitely, probably the most prominent thing to take away is that even if your hood doesn't blow up by merging files accidentally, you'll lose gameplay for sure, and the game will be confused, which I imagine will lead to problems down the line rather than anything happening straight away. I'm imagining that the other households that should have changes made to them, like the Dreamer and the Caliente, I imagine they'll be in the same sort of state. I'm just gonna check just in case. So I imagine it's like a mix and match of folders, of files, and the game can't really decide which one to go with, I think. Does that make sense? I feel like I've said that so many times, but I just can't think what would be different about the Dreamer. Would it be the same where it's back to the original state, but the original pop-up is gone, so the scripted event, I don't know, does the scripted event still work? Or will it think it's been played? Because obviously I didn't play the scripted events for these videos, right? For the video I did on the DNA, apart from the Caliente family where the scripted event happened, you know, regardless of intervention from me, that, you know, autonomously happens. Whereas with Dawn and Cassandra, they won't autonomously get married or bolt. The Dreamer don't really have it's really just you need to make Darren paint because the bills are piling up and they don't have enough money to pay them all. It's very straightforward.
2,000 years later.
It's gone back to the beginning. Yeah, so the same sort of thing has happened. The pop-up hasn't come up. I'll give it a few seconds, but so it's sort of registering as the lot's been opened. It understands that, but a lot of things are missing. The memories are right. Darlene is grayed out, so, and there's obviously no half siblings there. So I'm guessing the main immediate thing that you might see is a loss of gameplay, or the game just being confused. I imagine if you continued playing this way with the merged folders, you would see the typical signs of corruption, but of course I don't know how long that would take. I don't know how much I have to play this hood. I don't know how much time I would have to invest. So if I check the Caliente household now, I mean, just from threads I've seen where people mention, oh, I reverted to the backup and this happened, and then they sort of reveal that they clicked replace, and everyone's like, that's the source of your problem. And I think the main problem I saw, one thread I saw had, you know, I'll try and find a picture to edit in, but apparently the neighborhood picture changed to, you know, like the green squares, the texture, the terrain texture, and this might have been the same thread or another one, but something like the game thought their main hood, I think it was Pleasantview, was pets, the Stealthhood pets. So they changed the name to Pets. It might have been the same thread, the same picture. Other problems that I reported I saw were, typical end stage of corruption, with the neighborhood disappearing completely from the menu, from the screen, and crashing. It can't open, it's crashing. Yeah. So as I thought, it's registering that it's been opened before and saved, of course, because the scripted event's gone, right? Or rather, the pop-up in the corner. I don't know if the burglar will come. What I could actually do is stick around. Yeah, so they had a burglar before Michael died. That's not the scripted event. So what I could do is just stick around and see if it happens. It's past midnight. Can't really think when the burglar. I swear it's usually now. It's past midnight. Is it because they're awake? It's the burglar, like Santa, where you have to be asleep for him to come. But then I'm pretty sure in my DNA experiment video they were all awake. The burglar still came. But yeah, so that did not happened. It's gone back to the original state, but the scripted event has gone, because it's almost like the game registers that it's happened, because it's happened in one of the folders that was merged, right? But they don't have memory of it, and they don't have, there's no other indication that it's happened. But the game has gotten a bit confused, right? So that's something. I know, I'm kind of sorry that I am really sorry that I'm not really finding anything too bizarre. Like, nothing's just exploding right in front of you. Again, that's corruption. It's so hard to predict what will happen and when. Okay. Oh. These are meant to be occupied. And no one's here. I can't remember if I have empty university templates. Maybe I do, and that's why I can't remember if I... Oh. I don't know if they've vanished, or if that is just because I have empty subhoods. No, I don't think I do. I'm sure I don't. If they've just vanished? I mean, that's a sign of corruption. Sims vanishing, that's not good. That's worrying. I'm just so I'm trying to think. Do I have... I have empty selfhoods, but I'm sure I don't have... empty uni hoods. I'm baffled. I think that's probably... something has happened. Something has happened, indeed. So I couldn't find anything in Simpy, nothing that was concerning. It was like it was a default state. But I did check. I'm here. I've gone into my program files to see if because I don't know, maybe I did download clean or empty template for the uni hoods, but from the date modified, I'm pretty sure this is the date I got the Ultimate Collection, or it was the day it was released or something. I'm pretty sure it was July 2014. So these haven't been modified. So I do not have clean or empty university subhoods. I should really get on and actually get clean uni hoods, but that's not the point. I mentioned this in another video that will probably be up next week, depending on which one of these videos goes up first. But yeah, point is, I have not got an empty neighborhood template for uni, which means in Pleasantview, in the merged Pleasantview, the Sims who should be there aren't. They're gone. So that's not good. I don't know if they just never initialized, if it's like the game is acting like they never existed, but that's not good. Obviously something has gone wrong, especially with the generation of the uni subhood. So open for business. So for open for business, I have a clean version of Blue Water Village, and you can see it's been modified. It was modified on the 30th of April last year. So what has happened is the uni Sims for the merged Pleasantview, they've gone. They have gone. That's not good. So, what have we learned? We have learned, don't merge neighbourhoods. Obviously the worst that we've seen in this video is that you lose a lot of gameplay, but what you've done is you've corrupted your hood. It should go without saying that you've corrupted your hood. The effects may not be immediate, but it's there. It's happened. What I could maybe do is maybe revisit these hoods somewhere later down the line and see if anything else has happened. But I think that's probably the worst I'm gonna record that you're gonna see in video. But yeah, basically the game has gotten very confused. It's very muddled now. it can't really decide which of the folders that you've put in. It can't really decide what to read properly, if that makes sense. Because it's acting as if I've put the original neighborhood folders as they come in, but it's like the scripted events have been played through, but it's like it's untouched at the same time. But also Sim State University, from one of the folders that I put in, it's registering that, but it's not registering anything else about Sim State University, because the Sims that should be there, the Sims in the family bin, the Sims in the occupied lots, they're gone. I don't know if it's just a case of the game has not registered them and it hasn't initialized them, it hasn't generated them, it hasn't been able to read the character files or something, or if it has deleted them. I don't think they have been deleted per se. I think they have just been wiped from existence, but not necessarily deleted, which is of course not ideal in the case of if it's a hood that you want to play, you want to keep, and you don't want your Sims going missing and unable to be retrieved. That's not good. Yeah. So the character files, the game just hasn't generated them for whatever reason. So that's probably the biggest concern for me, what I've witnessed today. Moral of the story is, don't merge your neighbourhoods. You might not see something awful straight away. You might not, have this big fiery ball wipe out your town. But you might also not be lucky. I mean, there's no winning here. By merging and replacing overwriting files, you have corrupted your hood. Unless you have a clean backup where you haven't merged them, and then you place that in as you should place it in, it's pretty irreversible. You've irrevocably corrupted your hood. On that somber note, I'm sorry this wasn't very conclusive. This wasn't very exciting either. It's a lot more of the technical side of corruption, I think. rather than the immediate signs and symptoms and effects. I hope that was still interesting. I wanted to cover this because I've never seen it documented, probably for good reason. But I think it could still, be a mistake that people might make. They may not realize when we say restoring from backup, they may not realize they can't replace files, It's just sort of a PSA, I guess, which is kind of what the intention of the Corruption Chronicles is about. It's not just about documenting corruption, it's about informing. Because this game is amazing, but it's also very broken and it's very fragile. And I don't want to put people off from playing this game. I don't want to worry you. It's more just, there are things you can do to make it a little less broken. It's like super gluing a broken vase together, If this is the next video to go up, then I have an obligatory thank you to do, because I hit 500 whole people. 500 whole people saw one or all of my videos and thought, hey, I kind of digged that. I kind of liked that. I want to see more, and that is unfathomable for me. I mean, just saying it out loud is bizarre. 500. I have it's like I have this community and it is awesome, and everything I could have ever wanted, everything I could ever have dreamed of. I know it's cliche, but you guys make me wanna get out of bed because I have videos to do and I have you guys to be there, you're there. Oh! My favorite part of uploading now is that I see the same names, I see the same profile pictures, and it's like, wow, you came back. I love reading your comments. I love just talking to you guys on Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter yet, I absolutely recommend you do, because I'm very active there, and I am always open for, a discussion about anything to do with The Sims 2, corruption or not. Literally, I love The Sims 2. I just want to talk about it all day, every day. So if that sounds like something would be interested in discussing with me, come join me at Twitter, twitter.com, at Tanic Sims 2, all lowercase. They'll be on the screen. I'm not really sure what else I have to say other than thank you. How corrupt is Veronivore anyway? I have the guidelines. I have what I want to cover all planned out. I want to record the footage for that very soon. I don't want to make false promises and give false hope, but I think it should be coming very soon. It depends on how long it's gonna take. As I said in How Corrupt is Strangetown anyway part 2, I said the similarities between Strangetown and Veronivore are there's a lot of overlap. There are a lot of the same problems, so it's gonna be a long one again, which I hope is okay. It might not be 2 parts. I think I can squeeze it into one. It would just be probably upwards of half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, if that sounds good. I want to cover literally everything. You know how children are how they're so curious and you say something and they go, why? And you try and give them an answer and they just say, why again? That's me when it comes to corruption. I need to know everything. I need the ins and the outs. I need every detail. And it's really cool that you guys kind of are the same. You relate to that. You are the greatest community. Just applaud yourself. You guys are amazing. You make my days so much brighter, and I hope these videos I hope they make you as happy as they make me. Thank you so much for watching, and of course remember to stay safe, be good, and most of all, happy simming. Bye.